Let me make my adjustment. Here we go. There we go.
My
hello.
Lord. With a T on the end, Robert D. Townsend.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Listen, I'm going to do this real quick because I've been wanting to do this my entire life. For you.
God
my
bless
entire life, Robert D. Townsend.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to be here with you in your beautiful curl pattern. I see it. What product? What did you use?
It's a product my daughter's got. My daughter put my curls in my head, please.
Shout out to Sky. We love her.
Thank you.
Influence. It looks curated.
Thank you so much.
It looks good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you so much for being with me today. I am just beside myself with excitement. You're everything. Mr. Robert Townsend, I ask everybody that comes in here, tell me who you are, however you qualify yourself, and one thing you love most about yourself.
Well, I am Robert Townsend. I am a actor, writer, director, producer. Something I love about myself. Wow. Here's the thing. I love that God made me creative. That I get to live every day as an artist is the best.
Yeah, we love it too. We have been blessed because you answered the call.
Thank you.
Literally, listen, thank you. I have watched Making the 5 Heartbeats. Not as much as I've watched the 5 Heartbeats, but pretty close. Y'all, if you haven't seen it yet, this is one of Robert's brilliant documentaries about obviously making the 5 Heartbeats, or about the 5 Heartbeats. And it shows everything because you filmed everything. Like, you've never stopped filming. I love that.
I didn't know what the movie was going to be, but there was a part of me that just wanted to document the creative process, and that's how it all kind of started. And then, we started to make what would be the documentary, but it's a love letter to the fans. That's really what it is.
And that's what it feels like. You took some care with that. I love that you let us see so many different facets. And as a creative and as a movie maker, I'm curious to know, what 5 movies do we need to see that would let us get to know you better?
That's a good question. What 5 movies?
We'd love to hear that.
Let me think about that a second. Well, at the top of the list, The Godfather is on the top of that list because I just love, that movie. Then I would put Claudine in there.
Oh, yes.
Which is one of my favorites. And then I would put in there Spook Who Sat by the Door.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's one of my favorites. Then I would put The Mac in there. And then what else would I put in there? No Country for Old Men, because I love that movie.
Oh my gosh, what a really wide, like your career, like a wide array of things. I love that. I hope let's curate that list and make sure we get that in, because those are really great. Tell me, why did you choose at least one of them?
Claudine, because it's my childhood. That was my, we were on welfare. My mother, 4 children, and, trying to figure out life. And I just thought it was so authentic. It was just beautifully done and just well casted, well directed. Gladys Knight soundtrack was the first soundtrack I ever bought. So, wow. That's why that movie speaks to me.
I love that. Well, we love our Diane Carroll as well. And you've gotten a chance to work with her. And that was such a big part of your documentary, too, because you went all out to get Miss Carroll. What did that feel like, getting her?
as an artist, when you want someone to work with you on a project, you've gotta really go after them. And the part of me that had to convince her to do it and really, come on the journey with me, I pitched my heart out, and she eventually said yes. But I think, it's kind of like when you have a wish list and your wish list comes true. And so she was just somebody that I just go, she's the only person. I just love her. I want to work with her, and it worked out. But just when you meet royalty, she's real royalty. So it's kind of like there's certain people that are legends, and then there's legends, and she's like one of those legends. So I was just, honored that she agreed to go on the journey with me to make the 5 Heartbeats. And then, I just had the best time.
Yeah, it was so dope to see that she would take a chance on you like that, because you did get a lot of recognition and notoriety for Hollywood Shuffle. So I guess that definitely helped you. But it was still very like, wow, this queen is really just about to be in my little 5 Heartbeats. This is crazy.
Exactly.
Oh, I love it. Well, you deserved it. And she obviously nailed it. Without a doubt, nailed it. But I want to know, because this has been a question not only within my household, but within Black Twitter and everywhere. Settle it right now, Mr. Townsend. Eddie King or Eddie Kane?
So here's the answer to that question. It's both. Because Keenan wrote the script with me. We wrote Eddie King Jr. And Michael Wright, the actor that played Eddie King, he put a Southern twang on it. So he made it Eddie King.
Right. That's what I was trying to tell people.
He put the Southern twang on it. And so we wrote King. But when I saw Michael doing the part, and how he was, gave it life, I was like, oh, okay, all right, I'll go with that. And so that's where the confusion, because we wrote King and he called Eddie Kane.
That's See, that's what I was trying to tell people. I was like, it's King, but he said, can't nobody sing.
Exactly.
Like Eddie King. So I'm right. Listen, everybody's right. I did a poll before this, and everybody voted Kane. So either way, we're all right.
Yes.
What, we talked about earlier that you filmed everything, and that's something that you've always done since you picked up your first camera, since your time on set for Mahogany. All that dope footage of Smokey Robinson and Diana Ross. Incredible. And your little geeky self getting nervous. It was so cute to see. Do you ever go back through everything that you have, or are you overwhelmed by the amount of stuff, the amount of footage that you have?
It's funny because I just kept everything. I don't know, I just kept everything. And so when I find this footage and I go like, man, because I wasn't even, when I really think about it, I was like, I wasn't even a filmmaker back then. I'm just a young kid with a camera. And I don't know why I have a camera in the hood. And I was just like, I'm going to shoot this. And for some reason, I didn't know I was going to be a filmmaker, but I just documented everything. And I don't know why, don't ask me why, but
I started doing it.
I just started doing it, and I got that little camera, and it was 8mm camera. And I just remember being on set and documenting everything. And who knew that, that I'd become a filmmaker, but I think it was just, I was fascinated. Like when I was a little kid, my nickname was TV Guide. That was one of my nicknames. And because I knew everything about television. And so they would call me TV Guide, what's on tonight? And then I picked up a camera. But when I look at the footage, I go, man, I was such a baby, but I just wanted to be around that action.
Right. And it's become what your purpose essentially has become, this interest. And you have created so much Black culture, but it wasn't like you set out to do that. Like with 5 Heartbeats, I loved how your ideal was to show the world Black men in a different way, show Black men loving each other. And it hit, but it didn't. I want to learn from that, because you could have gave up. You could have gave up the dream. You could have just pivoted to something else, but you stayed on the 5 Heartbeats. What do you have to say about continuing on past disappointment, continuing on past, like, it looks like it's not going to work out at all for you? How do you do that?
I believe in me. I really believe in me. I don't give up. I don't surrender. I never surrender. If there's something that I feel in my gut and I have instincts that lead me toward it, I'm going to go in that direction always. So with the 5 Heartbeats, I knew the film was going to be something special. Now, a lot of people didn't believe in me and a lot of people didn't see it. But, you know, when I read about other movies and other television shows, I find similar experiences where like The Godfather, they didn't want Al Pacino to play the part, and Francis Ford Coppola had to fight for him. So for me, I'm hard-headed. So I'm like, I know this.
Yes, that came up, sir. That came up.
It's like I know I'm gonna win. Eventually, I'm going to win, and I'm going to fight for it. And I think sometimes you really have to believe in you when nobody else does. And I don't know what there's a part of me that I just go, God, hold my hand. I think I know this is what I'm supposed to do, and
amen.
Guide me through it. And sure enough, it's kind of like, like watching a documentary. There's all these twists and turns, and you go like, how is he going to get out of this?
Right.
And all of a sudden, boom, God shows up. So I just, my faith has always been strong, but I just love what I do, and I'm always trying to do the right thing. And so I think if you're doing the right thing, you're eventually going to win.
Well, I hear you, and to that stubbornness, I want to know, because like, you knew specifically for 5 Heartbeats, you knew to hold on to the scene with you and your little sister, that iconic scene that we love so much, and you knew to hold on to the end scene with Eddie getting saved and changing his life from drug addiction. You knew to hold on to those things. What is it that is what comes through that discernment of knowing what to hold on to, what to be stubborn about? Because sometimes you're stubborn and it's not serving, but that served you to be stubborn in those moments. So how do you discern what to be stubborn about?
Well, the scene with me and my sister is pure entertainment, and it's fun, and it has heart. And I think sometimes movies that we see with people of color, they don't have those moments.
Yeah.
Audience, we just have a movie and it's just done. And I was like, I really want to have this beautiful heart, in this scene. And that's what I was going for. And I was like, I know the audience is going to love this. I mean, because we don't see stuff like that all the time.
Yeah. And somebody being saved.
Yeah. And so the thing with Eddie, I'm like, this is one of those moments, because it's too easy to kill him off. We've seen that before, and so-and-so died, and so-and-so died. But to see a man that comes back, and he changed his life, we don't see that in movies. They always go, they died, and we all at the funeral, and it's like, oh man, too bad. So there was a part of me that, I don't know, I have instincts. I think filmmakers, artists, we have instincts, and you got to trust your instincts. If your instincts are telling you, like, no, this is it. And I'm hard-headed, because even when people say, well, you don't need it, I need it, And I just think that I would say to young filmmakers, you have to fight sometimes for your vision. If you really have a different vision, and my vision is always, everything I've ever done is really different. I think, my body of work, you can't really look and say, oh, that's a typical Robert Townsend film. It's like, no, his movies are always going to come from someplace else. And they're funny and they have heart, and I can do action drama,
Yeah. You do a lot. You had to wait so long for 5 Heartbeats to become this classic that it is. Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think that now, like, what do you owe the classicness, the timelessness, the love of 5 Heartbeats to?
Well, I think, the film didn't do well at the box office, but the word of mouth has spread, and each year it just grows and it grows. Like, hey, I want to watch a movie for Thanksgiving, you know, and I want to have the whole family watch and we can laugh, we can cry. Hey, Christmas, there's a movie we want to put on that the family can watch together, but, you know, it's got great music, we can sing along. And I think when people watch The Five Heartbeats, it has all of those elements, and I think that makes the movie timeless. So that you know, you can watch it today, tomorrow, 10 years from now, and you can still understand the themes of the film and go along on the ride.
Listen, it's just that movie in particular, it just reminds me of like VHS, the rewind button, like the big TV on the floor.
Oh my God.
Huh?
Thank you.
Yeah, it just puts so many good memories in my head because it's one of those things that my family has always watched together. And it's something that I still watch today. Like I'll probably watch it today. Like there's so many good memories, and it's beautiful to watch that unfold, and your career being so long and you doing so many different things, and especially now that you're doing like Black Lightning and The Last OG, different newer things like that. How have you seen Black art change, like as far as like the reception or the rejection of the way people treat Black creations from Black creators?
Well, I mean, I think it's a different time in Hollywood. I think there is some really amazing work that is going on, and I think you know, it's a good time in Hollywood. I mean, because you know, like when I look at, you know, shows like The Shy, you know, Lena Waithe.
We love her.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of, you know what I mean? Shonda Rhimes. I mean, there's a lot of quality work going on a lot of different levels. So it's an exciting time. I think it's really a beautiful, exciting time. But I mean, this is what I was always fighting for, that we would have options and layers to the world, and we would not be just a certain type of Black folk.
Yeah.
I think those now all these different kinds of images, which is a beautiful thing.